I didn't think of it as sacrifice at first. It was just something that made sense. 600 a week wasn't a small amount, but I had stabilized. My job was steady, my expenses predictable. My parents, on the other hand, always seemed to be on the edge of something: late payments, repairs that couldn't wait, small emergencies that stacked into something heavier. So I stepped in. Quietly. Consistently. Every Friday, the transfer went through. No reminders, no discussions. It became part of the rhythm of my life, like groceries or rent. At first, they thanked me. My mother would call, her voice soft in a way I hadn't heard since I was a kid. My father kept it shorter, but there was something like approval in the pauses. Over time, the tone shifted. The calls got shorter, then less frequent. Gratitude turned into acknowledgement, then into assumption. If a transfer was a few hours late, I'd get a message, not asking if I was okay, but asking if something had gone wrong with the bank. I noticed it, but I didn't stop. It felt easier to continue than to question it. I told myself this is what family does. The vacation came up casually. My mother mentioned it in passing, somewhere warm, near water. She talked about the hotel first, then the view, then the food. I listened, waiting for the part where she'd say, "You should come." She didn't. A few days later I asked. Not directly. Just enough to make space for the invitation. My father answered instead. "We didn't want you there." He said it flat. No hesitation. No attempt to soften it. For a second I thought I'd misunderstood. But he didn't add anything. The silence after felt intentional, like he was letting it settle. I didn't argue. There wasn't anything to argue with. "Okay," I said. That was the whole conversation. That Friday, I didn't send the money. I didn't make a decision about it. I just didn't do it. The day passed, and for the first time in a year, nothing left my account. It felt strange, but not wrong. Saturday morning, I woke up to 3 missed calls. By noon, there were 9. Messages followed. At first, they were casual, then checking, then urgent. My mother's tone shifted the fastest: confusion first, then worry, then something closer to panic. My father's messages stayed shorter, but there was an edge now. Not anger exactly. Pressure. By evening, I understood something I hadn't let myself see before. The money wasn't help anymore. It was structure. Maybe even dependence. And without it, things didn't hold. I didn't respond right away. Not out of spite. I just needed the distance to think clearly. When I finally called back, it wasn't emotional. My mother answered immediately. Relief poured through her voice before I even spoke. "There's been an issue," she said. "The payment didn't come through." I let a small pause sit between us. I know. Another pause. Longer this time. My father came on the line. I could hear the shift, less relief, more control. Why? It wasn't accusatory. It was direct, like he expected a reason that made sense to him. I thought about telling him how that sentence, "We didn't want you there," had stayed with me. How it kept replaying in the quiet moments. How it had rearranged something in me. But I didn't. "I'm going to take a break from sending money," I said. No explanation layered on top, no emotional framing, just that. The silence that followed felt different from before. Not dismissive, not casual, uncertain. "You can't just stop," he said finally. It wasn't anger. It was something closer to realization. "I can," I replied. There was no raised voice, no argument building behind it. Just a boundary, stated plainly. They tried to extend the conversation, practical concerns, timelines, things that needed to be covered. I listened, but I didn't move. For the first time, I wasn't adjusting myself to keep things smooth. "I'll help if there's something specific," I said. But this, not like before. It wasn't a negotiation. It was a change. After we hung up, the quiet in my apartment felt different. Not heavier, just clearer. The calls slowed after that. Then stopped. We didn't resolve anything. There was no apology, no acknowledgement of what had been said. But something had shifted anyway. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just enough that I couldn't go back to not seeing it.